CATV is proudly presented by Toyota.
Thanks for your time, Ian. Well batted today. You showed some real fight, and Ben Stokes is going pretty well. But obviously only 5 wickets needed for Australia to win the Ashes. How do you sort of sum up how the team feel this evening?
Yeah, well, obviously we're still hanging in there, and that's the important thing. We need to take tomorrow as deep as we possibly can. Keep showing some fight. You know, like you said, Ben Stokes was outstanding, I thought, today. Showed some great shots. And obviously, potential for the future which looks massive with Ben, and I thought his character as well with the ball as well, running in like he did all day and yesterday. I think it's a good sign for us. Really good find. But yeah, we need the 2 guys who are out there now to certainly bat till lunch. And like I said, we've just got to keep fighting. That's all we can do.
Is there a sense of frustration that you two showed the way, yourself and Ben, who's obviously inexperienced, showing the way for the top order? If only they batted like you batted, you could have been in a much better position.
Yeah, well, it's easy to say that from, I guess here and looking back. But look, I think with the pitch as it is, obviously with the cracks and stuff, and certainly early on in my innings, I felt that if you just try and survive, you're going to get one at some point. So you're better off trying to put the bowler under a bit of pressure. And I thought Stokesy did that really well, and that was our sort of attitude to going out there. And I'm sure the way Matt plays as well, that'll be the same tomorrow morning.
You sum up how disappointed you all feel at the moment with the position the team are in?
Oh, hugely disappointed. I think coming out here, we had some, real excitement. There was a massive challenge ahead, and that's what you play the game for. But, I don't think we've shown anyone the kind of cricket that we potentially can play. And hats off to Australia. I think they've been fantastic in all departments. They've batted better than us, they've caught better than us, and they've bowled better than us. And that's what Test cricket's all about, And it's just disappointing that we have got it in the dressing room to potentially come out and do some good stuff over here, but we just haven't been able to get it out.
Why do you think that is, Ian? I mean, have you got a theory as to why that dressing room talent and those big reputations and the averages that you guys have just hasn't translated into runs, continually in this series?
I'm not sure, to be honest. Obviously, like you said, it's easy to be, you can train as hard as you want, you can do all the right things, and sometimes it just doesn't happen. It's certainly not through lack of desire and hunger and fight. It's just not happening. We're just not playing the kind of cricket, from 1 to 11 that we need to. And it's all right to have maybe a couple of guys not playing that well in the 11, but you can't have more than that. In the minute, we're just probably not quite playing where we need to be.
Thinking about the English summer, you obviously had a fantastic series, but continually it was your centuries that kind of rescued England. Do you think the decline and the problems with the batting order, we can actually look over a longer period and look back to it starting in the summer and even before?
Yeah, well, I think we've spoke honestly. To be honest, we haven't got big scores first innings for a while now. We were all aware of that, and obviously we're doing everything we possibly can to get back to good habits that we used to have. So, and we're not going to win Test cricket or a lot of Test cricket unless we get big first innings runs, and that's what is letting us down right now. And we obviously can look back that we haven't done that properly for a while. So we're aware of that, and we're trying as hard as we can to put that right. Obviously we've got some new guys in the top 6. Now it's going to take a little bit of time for them to settle. But again, all we can do is keep going. We've got a chance tomorrow morning to have another good crack, and then Melbourne and Sydney to have another good go. And we've got to keep getting up and having another go. That's all you can do.
Ian, you've obviously shown what's possible on there in this second innings. What do you think specifically was up first time round? Was it the approach, or what went wrong?
I don't know. It's difficult to talk for other players. I felt personally I got quite a decent delivery. I think Australia have bowled fantastically well as a unit. They've. I think what you don't want as a batter is guys from both ends working together. I mean, the way that Johnson's bowled one end and then he's been backed up by Harris and Siddle at the other by giving you absolutely no scoring options, is where it becomes tough in Test cricket. And they've done that incredibly well and for a long period of time, which, pressure like that just, is going to create wickets overall anyway.
Ian, just going back to Ben Stokes, a lot of people have made the obvious comparison with Andrew Flintoff even before he made his Test debut for England. I mean, do you think Ben has the potential to have a kind of a similar impact, or those comparisons are fair?
I don't know. I mean, I think he's got a fantastic future ahead of him. I think the way he has shown he can play quick bowling, the way he hits down the ground, and just that attitude with the ball. There's not a lot in that wicket for us on day one, and Adelaide as well, but you never see him moan about anything, just gets on with it, runs in all day, bowls at good pace. And like I said, he showed today what is possible, what he can do with the bat. So I think he's got a massive future for us, which is exciting, I think.
We've seen seen what he can do on the field. I mean, I guess off the field, coming into a dressing room full of established players is quite difficult for a young player, but is his attitude been impressive for you as a senior player?
Absolutely, yeah. I think, to be honest, our dressing room I don't think is hard to come into. As young players, we've seen a lot of guys come in and do very well from their first few games, and I think if you'd ask young guys coming in, I think it's a very welcoming dressing room. So, I think he looks a quality player, and he has done. I think from the first net I saw him here at the Wacker, again, he was taking on, all our boys in the nets with the hook shot, and to do it in these nets shows, he's got some skills. So, like I said, I think he's got a massive future for us going ahead. It's good.
Ian, I know that Australia were in a very strong position this morning when they came out to kind of put their foot on the accelerator, but there were a couple of missed chances which you probably remember quite clearly.
Thank you.
What was it like out there, and what's kind of going through your mind when chances like that are going down? Obviously, you know how to catch, but a simple chance like that goes down. Is it just because the team are in such a difficult place? I mean, why was everything going wrong?
I don't know about that. I think you're right. To be honest, we set our standards high in the field, and that again was nowhere near what we're possible. And like you said, I am as guilty as anyone in that half an hour of dropping one and leaving one with Jimmy. So I think we're all disappointed. Obviously, I thought Watson played really well. Again, shows again he's an aggressive player, and when he wants to clear the ropes, he can do that with ease. So it's just disappointing. But the encouraging thing, I think, was we showed at least some fight with the bat when we got out there. It would have been easy just to get knocked over and walk off. But the guys are desperate to scrap it out, which is probably what we need, probably more with the fielders as well.
Last couple. Ian, can you tell us psychologically what it's like when you look down the pitch and see the cracks, as big as they are on the Wacker?
I think coming to Australia, and my experience is that you are going to get cracks on the wicket. I mean, it's not unusual to see that. I mean, generally it doesn't do too much off them, but this, I suppose, with the hot weather has made it a little bit more than usual. But again, you try and take that out of your mind. Again, I think that's why we try to be as positive as we could. That I think Watson hit a good length for a while, and they were going a bit up and down. So we just tried to, again, be as positive as we can. If you get one that takes off the crack, then that's fair enough. But you try and take it out of your mind.
You naturally expect it to be harder tomorrow to bat on?
I hope not. Obviously, there's a new ball around the corner again, which is obviously going to be harder. I think, obviously, the hardness of that ball hitting the cracks will do a little bit more than what the older one will. So it's obviously we want to get to that new ball and get through it as well as we can.
Last one.
The way that Kevin got out is always going to cause debate, I suppose. Some people say it's daft, other people say, well, that's just the way he plays, trying to clear long into the breeze. What was your take on it from the other end?
I think Kevin will be as frustrated as anyone. I think my experiences of playing with Kevin for a long time is I'd rather have him in my team than play against him. Okay, he might do that every so often, but he'll also win you a game from nowhere as well. So that's how I feel about Kev. He does things that a lot of players can't, and I'd rather have him in my team.